Hi, I'm Irving. Welcome to Kato and Some White Dude. I wonder what part of town we're in. The music is vague and isn't telling us much. He's calling Britt Reed at the Daily Sentinel. The paper has been crusading against protection rackets in the city recently, and this caller says if you want to see them in action, send a reporter to the Golden Lotus Cafe, immediately if not sooner.
What's the matter?
Somebody calling about the Sentinel's crusade against the protection racket.
Wait, he called Reed at home? How does he have the number? You'd think a guy like Britt Reed would make sure his home number was unlisted. You could do that in 1966.
And a tip that something's about to happen at the Golden Lotus Cafe.
The Golden Lotus?
You know it?
Yeah.
Get the Black Beauty ready.
But they'll be too late. The bad guys are already there.
Good. They're closing.
The leader's name is Lo Sin. He's played by Mako, and the main thing you need to know about him for this episode is he wasn't Chinese, he was Japanese. But if you ask the average white guy on the street in 1966 about it, he'd tell you it didn't matter because all those that's look alike anyway. Jimmy Key, the guy who called Reed, tries to stop them.
You can't use our tongue this way any longer. That Yang is my tongue now. I'm warning you. Nobody wants Lo Sin.
I wonder what the warning was supposed to be. Besides meaningless and ineffective, I mean. They confront the man who owns the cafe.
Get out! We're willing to be reasonable, Winghope. I say get out! Or I'll call police!
All Chinese men know Kung Fu, of course. It's genetic. They're born with it. Lo Sin is just better at it. They trash the place while the old man's niece Mary tries to tend to him. When they're done, they leave. The Green Hornet checks on Jimmy while Kato goes after the guys they saw running away. There's something you don't see every day.
He's gonna be all right. What happened to you?
I ran into a little ambush.
I think he said ambush, but it's hard to tell. Sucker punch is more like it, which is about the only way anybody could have a prayer of beating Kato. They drive off. Mary comes out as Jimmy's waking up, and she immediately writes him off as one of the gang. He protests his innocence, then runs away when he hears the police sirens. Could you possibly find a way to make this any worse for yourself? You know, I probably shouldn't give him any ideas. Now it's a race to see who finds Jimmy Key first. Britt and Kato know Mary is wrong about him, and the Tong is undoubtedly looking for him. Scanlon says he'll put everybody on the search at once.
Kato?
Yeah?
Talk to Mary Chang. See if she knows where Jimmy Key might be hiding.
Okay. You know, if we ever meet up with that masked Kung Fu man again, I want him.
You got him.
He left you upside down in a garbage can. I'd say you have a score to settle. At Tong headquarters, Lo Sin has a visitor.
That old man you beat up last night, he's in pretty bad shape.
So?
So you're supposed to get the merchants down here to buy our insurance. Not to put him in a hospital or a cemetery.
I'll handle things my way.
He is not too bright.
As long as you're working for me, you'll handle things my way, and don't forget it.
I could kill you with one cry.
Yeah, not too bright if he didn't see that coming. Who is this guy anyway? Well, Mike Axford arrived just as he was leaving, so we'll let him tell us.
Then I decided to go to Soy Yin, see if I could get somebody there to talk. And when I was walking in, who do you think I saw coming out?
Well?
Duke Slate and a couple of his boys.
Who's Duke Slade?
Among other things, he's the boss of protection racket on the west side.
And now he's expanding into Chinatown.
That night, Kato gets a call. Mary knows where Jimmy Key is.
In the old Buddha temple at the end of Mandarin Park. He called. Asked me to meet him at 9 o'clock tonight,
But I'm smart enough not to go alone, and I need your protection. Please tell me that's the but.
But what, Mary?
I don't know what to do. I can't explain. Something's happening. I have a feeling I'm being watched.
Mary, this is Britt Reed. Where are you?
The restaurant.
Stay there. I'll have Miss Case, my secretary, pick you up and take you to her apartment.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. The Green Hornet and Kato head to the temple to find Jimmy and bring him in for safekeeping.
Think he's hurt badly?
Just stunned.
No way he could have taken part in that vandalism. He's only a danger to himself. At the Golden Lotus, Miss Case discovers that Mary has been kidnapped. Obviously, Jimmy won't talk if it means endangering her. Now what?
I wouldn't if I were you.
What is this?
I have a feeling we've met before.
Not now.
He says, you took Mary Chang to get Jimmy Key to turn himself over to you. He can't do that because I have him. You can have him for $25,000.
Get out.
Friend of yours?
He works for me.
You should teach him some manners.
Hold it.
You're not going to deal with him?
You got any better suggestions?
Yeah, let me handle them. What are you laughing at?
You. Now stay out of it and shut up.
Ooh, that's gotta sting worse than whatever Kato wants to do to him. This guy is both a bully and a coward, and getting shut down like that, especially in front of Kato, is gonna leave a mark. Slade agrees. The Green Hornet says, I also want Mary Chang. I can always ransom her back to her uncle.
Now about the delivery of Jimmy Key. Where and when?
Midnight tomorrow night at Soyen headquarters.
No, I prefer a more neutral territory. Say the Buddhist temple. The end of Mandarin Park.
Kato really wants Lo Sin to make a move, but we still have a lot of screen time to fill before we can do that.
Until tomorrow night.
Till tomorrow night.
Back at home, they're filling Scanlon in on what's happening.
What makes you think you'll be able to spring Mary Chang? Lo Sing will have his whole gang of thugs there at the temple. You can't handle them all.
Remember, he said that. That night, the Black Beauty pulls up to the appointed spot. Slade is across the street.
Now wait. Wait until they get on the steps.
Good evening, Mr. Slate. Get out.
Does he think the Green Hornet has stayed active and anonymous for this long by being that stupid? Now that they've leveled the playing field, they head inside.
What is this?
A meeting of the Soyen.
老星，你这个走狗，他败坏我们草鹰潭的名声。
What's he saying?
He's calling Lo Sing a traitor to the Tong. And he's telling others to remember Zhou Ying's honorable history.
He begs them to overthrow Lo Sin, but everybody just stands there.
Mary, Jimmy!
I assume she's figured out by now that Jimmy wasn't part of the gang.
All right, let's get this over with. I'll take the money and the girl and...
All right, what is this? Where's the money?
I do not pay tribute to anyone. Chucky, quit it!
Slate may be the only person here who didn't see that coming. You have to love how the Green Hornet takes care of the white guys and Kato takes care of the Chinese guys. So much for desegregation. Scanlon said Kato can't do what? It's showdown time.
I no longer take orders from Mr. Slate.
Big talk. That's all that it is.
We didn't have Twitter back then, but there were lots of ways to bait a small-minded bully into making a fool of himself.
Lo Sing, you are nothing without me.
He's nothing with you. I was willing to let you two operate, provided you played it straight with me. As of now, you're out of business.
Now, who makes the big talk?
Is that all you think it is?
How would you stop us?
Kato just mopped up half your gang without breaking a sweat. You think he can't mop up the other half and you too?
Kung Fu?
Isn't that the traditional way?
All right, hold it. Now, we're not playing any games.
Stay out of this, Slate. What do you say, Lo Sing? Man against man.
Slate is right.
What's the matter, Lo Sing? The stakes too high? You afraid you might lose?
I'll kill him as I would a fly.
More big talk. This man is your leader, your hero. He backs down like a woman.
Ooh, the ultimate insult for guys with tiny egos.
Enough!
Sometimes they almost make it too easy. And now it's time for what we all tuned in to see. Directors and others were forever having to beg Bruce Lee to slow down because the camera couldn't keep up with his hands and everything came out a blur. I wonder how difficult it was for him to do that. At full speed, that last flurry of punches probably sounded something like this. Lo Sin is done. The Green Hornet signals Scanlon to have the police move in and arrest everyone, including Slate. His protection racket is done, at least in Chinatown. Of course, the sirens are the Green Hornet's cue to exit stage quickly. Kato got his hat. That's what counts. In the epilogue, everyone is having dinner at the Golden Lotus, fully restored compliments of Jimmy and his newly revamped Tong, when Mike gets a phone call.
The cops have got a guy trapped on the top floor of the Century Bank building.
So?
It's the Green Hornet.
I wonder how they came to that conclusion. Kato, are you screwing with the cops' heads again?
Green Hornet.
So Sergeant O'Mallory thinks. Well, aren't you coming?
Well, not till I finish my almond duck.
Almond duck. You're going to look pretty funny if it is the Green Hornet.
Well, I can't argue with you there, Mike. Say, would you like some more pea chow yuk?
I'd love some.
Ah.
It's possible Kato isn't there at the table with him. I have to wonder why. I also have to wonder why we can't let Bruce Lee go and fight a whole bunch of guys unless they're all Chinese and all know Kung Fu. Meanwhile, the Green Hornet takes care of the white guys. The racism on this show was very real. Recently, a commenter said something to the effect that I had to remember this wasn't the Bruce Lee show. Yes, it was. We didn't tune in to see Van Williams, and nobody knew that better than Van Williams. He knew and said publicly many times that Bruce Lee was the real star of the show. He was the one we were changing the channel to watch. To his credit, Mr. Williams begged the show's people to give Bruce Lee more screen time and more lines. They wouldn't do it, and we all know why. Bruce Lee wasn't white. They couldn't bring themselves to elevate a non-Caucasian sidekick to equal or higher level than the white leading man. I'm not pulling that out of the ether. It's a matter of public record. Check it out for yourself. Van Williams hated it and spoke out against it for the rest of his life. Now let's put that aside and look at the episode. Mako was excellent. In other news, water is wet. The final fight between him and Kato should have gone on a lot longer. Again, Trim a couple of the long driving sequences and give Jimmy about half as much screaming to do, and you have lots of time for a really great battle. But what we got was what we've been waiting for since the first episode, and for a change, we got plenty of it. Plus, we learned that Kato can actually say more than 5 words when they give him dialogue to say. I'd like to hope we're starting a trend here. It's a really slim hope, but it's something. I guess we'll find out. Until next time.